Do you smell that? It's smoke. The world is burning. And I want to ask you, have you picked up your bucket? Have you attached that hose to the hydrant so that you can help put that fire out? Because we all see the news. We all see our social media feeds. We see the amount of discontent, the violence people are doing against each other. We see the wars. We see the addictions to drugs and alcohol. We see the people that are taking their own lives. Higher and higher rates, more and more of it. And this can be disempowering. It can seem like, what can I possibly do about this situation? It is so big and so far outside of me that there's nothing that I can personally do. But this is what the powers that be want you to think. They want you to be disempowered. They want you to ask them to fix the problem. But that's the thing. It's the height of naivete to think that government or corporations are ever going to solve the problems that we, the masses, face. That's not what they exist for. They exist for power and control. That is their sole purpose, to accumulate resources for the express purpose of power and control. Now, who do you think they want to benefit? Do you think they want to benefit the masses, or do you think they want to benefit themselves? Look no further than basic human psychology. Obviously, these are self-serving institutions. And anything that attempts to serve itself, whether an institution or an individual, does harm to others for the benefit of itself. They are takers. And as takers, they hurt. And this is why the only way that the world is going to get fixed is if all of us on the ground floor, at the grassroots level, pick up our buckets and start putting out the fires around us. This is why I stress so much service to others. Because by serving others first, you will never need to worry about yourself. Every single thing will be provided for you if you find who you are uniquely equipped to serve based on your specific talents, gifts, and experiences through this life. Make no mistake, the greatest blessings in my life have been the most difficult trials of my life. Losing my brother to suicide, that process of grief over these past 2 years has been the single greatest teacher that I've ever encountered in my life. Hiking to the top of mountains, doing a 50K, going to jail in multiple states. All of these very difficult things have taught me more than any classroom, any textbook, any, Ivy League professor, YouTube video that I watched. This is what we're called to do. We're not called to just sit and mindlessly scroll through social media, entertain ourselves. By the way, look into the word entertain as far as what it means. Think contain, but side topic. The point being, if we aimlessly wander through life, if we sort of go about things like an NPC, what do you think happens? The world just keeps burning. And this is what the world is ultimately trying to do right now, is it's trying to wake us up. But what it's trying to wake us up to is our own individual power. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to spew any, delusion of grandeur saying that I personally can save the world. That's silly. That's foolish. But what I can do is I can serve the people near me that need to be served, that need help overcoming some sort of problem or obstacle. I can put out the fires around me, and I can inspire other people to do the same to the fires around them. And the more of us who do this, the more of us who take ownership over a problem we see in the world, and we take action to solve that problem, the better this entire world gets. The quicker we can put out the fire that is ravaging this planet. And this is what I think is all of our calling. I think all of us were born for a time such as this. We came into existence to help in this moment of time. Now that's the thing, is that each of us, just like a tree, just like a seed beneath the soil, we have to develop a root system in the dark in order to break free from the resistance of the soil and turn into that strong tree. Because we are not supposed to tip over to the winds of the world. This is why shadow work from, sort of the depth or Jungian psychological perspective is so important to do. You have to explore the things that make your stomach crawl, that make you emotionally reactive, that make you disgusted. All of these things will lead to greater insights into your purpose and ultimately allow you to break free from that soil and receive the sunlight, right? Receive the light. Because darkness is not actually a thing. It's an absence of a thing. There's no match that spreads darkness. You simply dim light, and then you have darkness. So the trick is, if you are experiencing darkness in this life, don't seek to escape the darkness. Seek to find the light. And each of us can be that light for other people. We can shine our light brilliantly, just illuminate everything. And some people may get uncomfortable with the light. That's okay. That's on them. The purpose of spreading our light is to uplift others, to be that lighthouse, to be that beacon. Because when people see others that are living in this way, full of peace and joy and happiness, well, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to now realize it's possible. But when you go into a room or you go into some sort of a scenario and you're surrounded with only negative people that are complaining, they're discontent, they're arguing, it tricks your mind into thinking that that's the norm. And even if that may be commonplace, that is not what human beings were designed to experience at all times en masse. We are creative beings, made in the image of our Creator. And as such, we can spread light, love, and hope to other people. Now, this isn't some sort of spiritual bypassing talk. We have to recognize, again, as I've already talked about, our shadow, that aspect of ourselves that maybe we don't really want to look at. But the reality is the less you look at your own shadow, the more you project it onto other people and the world around you. And as you project it onto other people in the world around you, it dehumanizes them and it gives you the excuse to treat them less than human. This is in part why so many people on sort of a base level of consciousness don't operate from any perspective outside of their own. And because they don't operate from any perspective outside of their own, they give themselves permission to do things that are vile, that are wrong, harming other people, killing other people, doing these types of things, taking from people. And the more of us that simply watch the world burn, the more the world is going to burn. And so again, this is why I created the hopezy.life. It was after losing my brother. I didn't exactly know the full direction. I just had this sort of amorphous vision that I was given as far as how I was going to make a difference in this world. Over these last 2 years, it's gotten a lot clearer. It's gotten a lot more understandable exactly the steps I need to take in order to make it happen. And so that's what I'm doing. Each day, I'm taking one step after the other. And just like climbing a mountain, eventually you get to the top of the mountain. Now again, this is why I wrote the book, Deadbeat to Easy Street, Escaping the Time for Money Trap, because this world uses money as a medium of exchange. It is a form of energy transfer. And in order to do the most good in this world, we need resources. We need massive resources to serve massive amounts of people. And this is why I'm calling everyone to step up to that call. All of us see a group of people in the world that we are particularly drawn to help. Their struggle pulls on our heartstrings. And our gifts, our talents, and our experiences are the credentials that allow us to serve them at the highest level. This could be single parents, this could be kids, this could be business owners, this could be people in war-torn countries, this could be victims of various forms of assault. This could be anyone that you see out in the world that is struggling in a way that you can help them. So take the step, take the action to start helping them. Start using your gifts, start using your talents, start learning from your experiences so that you can serve your assignment. Because each and every one of us is in competition with no one. There has never been and there never will be another human being just like you, who's had the same experiences as you, the same talents as you, the same gifts as you. There will never be another person like that. You are one of one. And it's time that we all step into that one of one understanding, that we become the best of the best in that one of one competition. Because each of us is so much more capable than anyone thinks that they are. And I know this firsthand from doing a 50K. I'm telling you, the level of preparation I put into it was non-existent. My brother had taken his life 3 weeks before I did this 50K. I signed up for it before knowing my brother was going to take his life, of course, because I didn't know he was going to do that. But I still 3 weeks after his death, I did that 50K. It was no more than 10 miles when my body was screaming at me to stop. Every single joint, every single muscle was completely on fire. I didn't scientifically prepare for it with, proper electrolytes and nutrition and things like this. Yeah, I had some snacks. Yeah, I had water and I had some electrolytes, but I didn't actually do the math to come up with how much of the specific nutrients, etc., that I would need to go 31.1 miles and climb over 3,500 feet of elevation. But guess what? That 10 miles when my body started screaming at me, I told it to shut up. I said, you're not in charge. This is in charge. And that's why, again, Deadbeat to Easy Street goes into how to train your mind, how to master your subconscious. Because this subconscious programming that's running in the background, much of it is scripts that you didn't consciously install. It came from parents and teachers and the media and peers and things of this nature. And you, because nobody taught you how to use your mind, accepted those scripts. And they've been running in the background. Scripts of lack, scripts of fear, scripts of anxiety, of unworthiness, of not being lovable. These types of things run in the background of so many people's minds that they end up maladaptive in some form and carrying out their life in a way that is not conducive to healthy, happy, joyous, peaceful, loving existence. And so again, I work with people one-on-one to get them over that hump, to get them into an empowered state where they become the software engineer of their mind, which is the software to the hardware that is your brain. Our mind is an ethereal thing. It doesn't exist between our ears. That's just simply the gray matter, right? And so it's important when we understand things like neuroplasticity and various other aspects of neuroscience to use them, right? We can utilize hiking, for example, to move our eyes laterally and produce acetylcholine, helping us enter a neuroplastic state. We can utilize binaural beats at various frequencies in order to entrain our mind to different brainwave states in order to achieve what we're looking to achieve, whether it's programming our mind, increasing dopamine production, increasing serotonin production, increasing human growth hormone and healing. All these various things are tools that we have without any sort of a drug prescribed to you by a pharmaceutical company that cares about profit fiduciarily because of their fiduciary responsibility to shareholders. Profit is their highest motive. Not healing, not making people better, but profit. And this is why our modern medicine system is entirely based on treating symptoms. Because as long as you treat the symptoms, the problem always exists. And you can make a lot more money treating symptoms than you can solving root causes of problems. Now, maybe you don't want to hear that. That's okay. I just want to spread as much of what I understand to be truth as humanly possible. Take it or leave it. I'm not here to argue with anyone, but I think we can all agree the world has been getting worse and worse for years. I'm part of that Xennial micro generation, the generation between Gen X and Millennial. This is a generation that saw the world before the internet took everything over. And then we became adapted to the internet and technology. And we're now entering the age of AI. Well, we've already entered the age of AI. And as a result, we're going to see a massive increase in deception, a massive increase in psychological warfare, psychological manipulation that's going to lead more and more people astray. It's going to trap people within sort of a matrix of understanding of reality that is false and only benefits the institutions of power and control of this world. But if you're like me, you want to change that, and you can. I am making this video to empower you. I make all of my content to inspire you, to motivate you, to get outside of your head and go find some fire, no matter how small it is. Find one person that you can serve today. Find one little problem that you can solve for somebody else. And then build on that. And then build on that. Because the more of us who do this, the more problems that get solved, the more people who get served, and the better this world gets. So, I will leave it there. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.